Right. Hello, everyone. So, welcome. That was the lap. Now let's talk about the lap if you want to listen to me. So, we're going to talk about Charlotte here. So, this was an official qualifying session. If I just hide this a sec. This was an official qualifying session. So, here were the results. Not much participation, so I kind of want to get more people involved in doing this track because it's a really good track. I really like this track. But it's really obviously, it's kind of really particular with the way. Well, just the lines. You need to learn the lines, so hopefully you can learn some lines that you can then go and practice, because one part of practicing is knowing what to practice. So hopefully this will show you what to practice, and then obviously you can go practice it yourself, because practice makes, as they say, maybe not perfect, but we can get as close to perfect as we are physically capable. So, right, let's turn this volume up. So let's go through the combo, chase cam and cockpit cam. Okay, all good. So yeah, let's go through it. Turn 1, if I just lower this. Main thing, okay, so our theme obviously of this track, getting close to the walls. So turn 1 here, we start off pretty close to the wall here on the right hand side, and then we're using these marker boards up here, number 2 and number 1. So if you want to be safe, number 2, if you want to be a bit braver, you can go in between number 2 and number 1. And we start on the brakes, and then very quickly going down to quite low trail braking, very low trail braking, as we kind of glide the car around. And if you notice, with my steering, I mean, the way I've been trying to drive at the moment is just being really smooth. I think it's the way to be fast in this car, and probably in iRacing in general, is smoothness. So being really gentle with the steering inputs and combining that with this slight amount of trail braking, and then just feeling what the rear end is kind of doing, because it steps out a little bit, I guess. So gliding through, you don't want to take too much of this curb, so as much as you can kind of get away with before, hopefully at this point, feeling the grip load up and then being able to push out in 3rd gear and going up to 4th gear. Sorry, by the way, that I don't have the gears showing, but you should be able to work it out, and obviously I'll talk about it. Also, obviously, the pace can get better than this, but this is qualifying, so the car's only just getting up to temp. Then, of course, pushing out to get as close to this wall as possible. And then coming over this crest, you really want to get close to this wall. So I think it's really good to come down to the inside on this one, on turn 2. So we're going to be getting out close to the wall, then look, we're not even full throttle, then we're lifting the throttle, we're gently turning in, and just getting really close to this wall. And then here, at this point on this blue line, you've got this compression, this kind of camber, that you can use to get loads of grip and come down to the left hand side to open up turn 3, which we pretty much don't have a reference point for. We just come over this crest and start turning in straight away. So you can see, like, on the throttle, if you're looking at my throttle here, it's a whole fluid motion where we're going up and then already lifting off and really sending the car into turn 3. Now turn 3 is going to be turn 4 is going to be a real test of your trail braking and smooth steering input, because if you get this right, you can do this whole turn 3 and 4 as one fluid motion again. Trail braking in, pushing it out, never letting the brakes go completely to 0 until you're happy around this point. And then you could still be braking at this point potentially if you're feeling the need to. So really try and just do this as one fluid motion. If you're kind of not able to do that, then obviously you can take a bit more speed off here at turn 3 and then kind of treat turn 4 as its own corner. So it's up to you to kind of practice that, but ideally, yeah, we do this whole really nice motion going around turn 3, out around here, and then into turn 4 you need to be coming down to this apex here to maximise the exit down this straight, which you're going to go all the way onto the left, use all of this extra tarmac, push up to the grass. God knows why we're allowed to do it, but we are. American things, I guess. Maybe. So, turn 5 and 6. So we start turning in pretty early. So we've got this, obviously the red bit here, starting to turn in pretty early because I think it just, I don't know, for me it helps the feeling, but we're still going to push out to the left here, so you can go quite far onto this outside patch here. And then again, if you look at my braking, I mean, again, it's up to your own technique, how well are you able to do this, but we're going to brake in one fluid motion again, never letting the brakes go, just doing little changes, but really the aim is to combine turn 5 and 6 into one motion so that you can dive in at turn 5, go up the hill, and then just gradually bring the car around for turn 6, and we're going to end up over here. And again, yeah, just with the steering just being nice and smooth. So again, turn-in point, I mean, yeah, you can use this for reference, I guess. And then we're just going to kind of aim for this apex. You can go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, it's up to you, but you want to ultimately be using a fair bit of the width over here to put the car over here. Then gentle steering all the way around this curb, and then pushing out over this crest in the 3rd gear. Now we do short shift to 4th gear, briefly there, before coming back down to 3rd there. So again, this corner is one where, so I'm turning in, so I'm using this blue line as a reference point as where to do a little bit of braking and shift down to 3rd gear at this point here. So we're using this blue line as a reference, and then I know I can start pushing the car out once. Obviously you don't want to do it too early because you can easily crash into that wall, but you really need to be able to trust yourself here, to be able to let the car go out to here so that you can be at this point really close to the wall to open up turn 8. Let's check the reference. Yeah, turn 8. So yeah, let the car go out. We're coasting at that point, and again with the steering you need to allow yourself to open up the steering here. Open it up around here. Well, I didn't open it up that much here. It depends how much grip you have, doesn't it? But as long as you're letting the car come outside here so that you can then do turn 8 nice, and you have a nice open entry to turn 8. And again, we'll just see how close we are. Get into the wall on the right hand side. We could have got closer, probably a bit earlier. And then we let the car settle down for turn 8. Again, we're coasting a lot, just coasting at this point, yeah. And then we're going to push out, we're going to get close to that wall and just push out all the way to the exit. So yeah, coast, chill, push. There you go. Okay. Now we admire the scenery a bit, stay tight obviously, then let the car come over to the right hand side, and again we want to get as close to the wall as possible. And then we're braking, the reference is 5 and 4, so 5 if you want to be on the safe side, or you can go about halfway between 5 and 4 for braking here. And braking hard, then we start to bring the car inside. Now this curb you can cut a fair bit, maybe more than this, maybe not, I don't know. But I'm cutting that a bit and then coming down to 2nd gear and doing the quick transition to the right hand side to point the car outside, out of the exit. So yeah, cut that, shift down, and then push, push, push. Get close to this wall. Use the apron here. You can go up to this white line before you get a slowdown, so you can use all that. And then, last but not least, yeah. So this one's quite interesting. We've got so I like to stay tight to the left, but then at this point here we have this bump, so yeah, you can see it there really violently. So I start braking, but then here there's a big bump that you feel through the force feedback. So I'm actually starting off braking, then release the brakes a tiny bit for the bump, and then start braking more afterwards. So obviously it's up to you to get the feeling for that, but the important bit is starting to brake. I'm just using this blue line for reference, or you can use the water buckets or whatever these are for reference. Braking on the left, getting close to the grass on the left, and yeah, just braking nicely there, and then bring the car around, tiny cut there, a bit more of a cut here, but not too much because you're getting off track, and then push into the exit. Yeah, I think that's probably it. So please, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Hopefully people enjoy doing this track, and if you want my data on Garage 61 as well to share, because I don't have this publicly shared, but you can leave me a message and I can invite you to a team where you can have access to this as well if you'd like. Also any coaching, I've coached a guy recently who quite enjoyed it and got something out of it. So if anyone is interested in that, then also drop me a message in YouTube or Discord in the Radical Sim Racing community. Yeah, okay, apart from that, take care. Anything you want to say, let me know in the comments. See you later.